Calling all card fighters. We welcome you to the Dojo, a Card Fighters podcast, starting now.
I actually just heard it twice. I know. What's up, guys? My name is Naru Samurai, and there is a lot of light in here. I'm actually trying to see how a lot of light looks, and also realized that I don't know how to start a stream.
Congrats.
So,
Congrats.
Good to know.
I can hear you.
Oh, from over here?
Yeah.
Okay.
But what's up, guys? Welcome back. If you guys don't know, which you should, episode 1, Anderson. Episode 3, Nick Larson. They just came back from BSF, and they told me that they were running 3 rounds in a row, and then they got sacked 3 times in a row.
No, that's not what happened.
Is it? Oh, they went 4-2. They got sacked 2 times in a row.
No, that's still not what happened.
I know. You're going to tell us. That's the point of this series. I'm supposed to give you shit beforehand, and then you build up later.
Yeah, fine.
All right? But they did get 11th place, only 3 away from top 8, and that's progress. That is really good progress. But, I can be talking theory and misconceptions all day, or you guys can tell me what happened. So what's up?
So the whole event, we played 6 rounds altogether. We ended up winning round 1 and 2. We lost round 3, won round 4, and then just got sacked round 5 and 6. Me personally, I went 5 and 1. Devlin and Anderson went 3 and 3.
3 and 3.
Their losses were literally just because of either seeing bad matchups or just getting sacked by crit OT. The sound of what Overdress does anyways.
Actually, I lost round 1. I was playing Nirvana Overdress, and 3 of my grade 4 Mahers actually ended up in damage before losing the game. So unfortunately, I just couldn't ride to grade 4, which is what Nirvana has to do. Especially against Bruce, which was my round 1 opponent. We played a game 2 just for fun, and I saw grade 4 Nirvana, and I ended up winning that one. So it was literally just I didn't see the grade 4, so I ended up losing the game.
So we're actually talking mainly about standard first, because that was the one that
we almost topped.
You guys almost topped, right? But I guess where my curiosity is that before we go more into your matchups for standard and premium, how was the event, the venue, returning back into the whole sense of Bushy Road Springfest, Bushy Road Championship Series? That's going to be the next one in fall if they continue. I think they're going to continue. It's been going pretty well. But what would you say the event venue is, the people there? Can you give us some insight on that before we go into sweaty discussion on the meta?
In general, I believe the event was ran very well, to be honest. We had, if anybody there went, so we had 2 sides of the room. So Overdress took up 2 sides of the tables, and then V Premium, which was that day for day 1, was on the far end. So they had their own section, and then we had the 2 in the middle and to the left. And then the next day, then it was the same thing. Premium took up 2 sides, and Weiss took up one of their sides. But overall, I think the event went well. They made sure that everybody showed their Vax card before getting in, and then what else? They made sure that everybody kept their mask on no matter what, because people like to put it underneath their nose and all that, and they made sure that that's not what we do there, so that nobody gets a COVID scare or anything. Other than that, I think the event went fairly well in general.
The venue was really nice. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was a 2-story building, at least for the event hall that we were in. The entrance that we walked through, the immediate thing you look up, there's this really nice hanging piece where it was a bunch of glass leaves that would reflect the light down, and the reflection would come onto the ground and give a nice effect there.
Were you guys at a gala, or
it was kind of like a convention center.
Okay.
It was just mainly a convention center. That was actually my first ever Springfest.
Really?
Yes. I've never, in my almost 10 years of playing Vanguard, I've never actually once gone to an official Bushiroad event. Just because for a majority of that period, I was underage and didn't have any money.
Well, if someone took you there, you don't have to be underage because I went there on my freshman year of high school for my first event.
Money.
Yeah.
But it was my first Spring Fest, but I've been to a bunch of BCSs. So I mean, like the event hall is pretty much just what you would expect. Like it was really nice. They made sure to keep it clean, make sure everything was working in order, make sure that we had enough space for all of the teams to be spread out and be like not on top of each other. So like you actually had space to be able to like move around or anything if you needed to. Mm-hmm. For Springfest, I think like the majority, I'm very like proud of how our team actually did.
That's good. Now, you guys, no, not you guys, only Nick, right? You're going to the Texas one as well.
Correct.
Which is kind of like the roughest thing to say, guys. Like our team starting off, not many can go to a BSF right now. But that's because for me, I have work issues. I could have gone. I know Anderson. I know.
Yeah, you could have gone to Georgia, but you know.
Okay. Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Where was I going with this? Yes. So you have another event going in Texas. Almost confirmed, like 80% for sure happening.
Oh no, I'm going.
Well, I mean the group and all that.
Oh, I know who I'm playing with Overdress. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know who I'm playing V Premium with.
Mm-hmm. So with that, we got the Texas event coming up. Another good thing is with discussion of Kingslayer and all that, we're going to be like, sister teams bouncing off each other. And I think that's going to be a good, healthy relationship right there. Mm-hmm. So we're going to take full advantage of that. But going back into Georgia, right? Because I think that's where like the biggest thing is. We had standard first. A lot of content creators were there.
Yes. TIE Fighter, Orange, Top Deck Heroes.
There was small.
There were
Twitter or like social media
personalities from the Vanguard community. I'm blanking on his Franz Borden. Franz Borden was there. He tends to attend the west or eastern events throughout the year. I've talked with him through the Team Absolution Discord over the past few years. I never, unfortunately, got a chance to meet him during the event. But from what I remember, his team also ended up doing this. I think his team got top 8.
His team was the bubble out 8th place.
Okay.
And when top 6 was DQ'd. Oh, man, this is like a story we're going to be talking about today. Because his new sleeves, because he didn't want to get in trouble with the Dragon Shield sleeves, he bought Bushiroad sleeves and over sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
At the
and his inner sleeve was miscut.
Yeah. It wasn't marked. It was miscut, correct?
Yeah. So, because 6 of them were, and like some of them were PGs, crits, and
they were
a special grade 2 for his deck. I don't know what he was playing.
They were notable cards that you would know what they are.
He got, his team got DQ'd with not really much things other than there were 6 miscut cards. I don't know, guys. If I'm going to miscut a card just to like know what it is, I'm not going to do it for only 2 triggers. I'll do it for all 16.
No, there was a lot of discussion that day and the following day of people just worrying, like, am I just going to randomly get DQ'd from top 8 because a sleeve that I have is randomly miscut? Day 2 in premium, it ended up not being as much of an issue. I think the only reason people got DQ'd was incorrect deck list.
Yes, it was a rarity issue.
Yes.
So overdress, it was because of miscut sleeves, and then for premium, it was a rarity issue.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
rare. I think I heard about the rarity issue.
Yeah.
He marked the card as like SP when in truth he had a triple rare.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this was a main deck card, correct?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
God forbid it's one of the ones in the G zone of all things.
Yeah.
So there was very, I want to say strict rules for Georgia, or very like spontaneous rules for Georgia.
I would say it was more spontaneous. I don't think it was strict. I think that if the sleeves were like, obviously it was an inner sleeve, so I don't know what technically it was, if it was like fixable. Like, if he had extra ones, I would just let him re-sleeve.
Yeah, I think
then
you
put
get
it
like
on.
a good amount of extras.
Yeah, I think that you should have be able to re-sleeve. Then if you can't provide that you can re-sleeve, then that goes to a different issue. But like from what we know, they didn't even give him the option to do that.
From
That's
my understanding, it was because he went through the entire event with those sleeves, so it disqualified his wins leading up to that point. If it was something that they had caught at the very beginning, and they said, you have these 6 miscut sleeves, please change them out, and he did it, and all sleeves were in accordance, that would have been understandable to give him the re-sleeve. But because technically he played the entire event with miscut sleeves, unknowingly possibly, they had to treat it as there is a chance that he cheated. We have to disqualify his wins.
actually he's a local player down in Georgia. Goes to Crows events all the time, as well. Is one of our Orange's friends. He's also one of my friends too. So I can't. I'm not. I don't. I for sure know he's not a cheater.
Yeah.
Okay. The situation though is not nice though. Like in terms of how Bushiroad took care of it, right?
It's hard to, when you're in a position like Bushiroad was, like it's hard to find a way to rightfully fix it.
Exactly.
And I don't think outright DQing the team is correct, but I mean, like, it comes to the point where if he also could have like saw if the sleeves were miscut. So most people don't know how, like, they don't see that the sleeves are miscut either. So like they don't know how to catch if one is.
Yeah.
Which if this is for anybody watching this, if you think that your sleeves are miscut, literally take one card out of your deck and take another card that's in the same sleeve. You put them together. If one sticks out farther than the other, it's miscut. So because that's what they're going to look for. The first thing that they do for deck checks is they look at your entire deck all together, like compressed together. To see if any stick out.
I think the crazy part is that he double sleeved, and the one that was miscut was the inner sleeve.
Yeah, that's
Like-
more interesting.
Like, how would you tell that?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But instead of talking about the end of the event of day one, the beginning, you guys get there, nice venue, white walls, everything, right?
Yep.
Ha he nay, right?
If only.
Coming in. You guys didn't have to do deck check because you pre-did deck check, right?
The deck log, yeah.
So what happened? You guys just sat down, wait for rounds to be called?
So we ended up getting there like very early because we didn't know where we were going. We didn't know how long it was going to be. We got there as soon as they started doing registration, so we were like one of the first few teams to get in.
We were team 9.
Yeah, we were team 9 for Overdress.
9? I mean,
and yeah, we pretty much just like sat down. We went over our decks to see if like anything was. I know I just sounded like very like high pitched, but we went over our decks to make sure that like it wasn't anything was wrong or anything. Like I have a keen eye of being able to point out if like a sleeve is like either scruffed up or anything like that. So I looked at all 3 of our decks, everything was fine, and then we just sat down and we just talked with everybody. Like everybody came around, we all gathered around, basically just like had a conversation until the round 1 started.
Which is about 11 o'clock or 10:30?
It was 10:30.
10:30.
The end of registration was at 10, and then they something happened with teams that they had to call them back up to like make sure that their registration was fine, and then they did it at 10:30.
okay.
So if anybody goes to Springfest in Texas, make sure your name on your ID, like in general, make sure that the name you are providing is on your ID, whether it's a nickname or anything like that, because if it's not, you can get DQ'd for that.
So, like, your nickname was Nico-san. You can't put
so-
Nico-san.
So my name fully was Nicholas Larson.
Yes.
But since I had Nico still there, like it doesn't matter because I have my full name there.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like if he goes by Anderson. If he didn't have Anderson on his ID, he wouldn't have been able to play.
Like if you entered as Frankie and not Francisco, they could have used that.
Yeah.
So,
Dang, I don't want to write my full name.
yep. Yeah. But,
Thank God I didn't go. What if I put Naru Samurai?
If it's not on your
if
ID,
you can
then-
get that as a U.S. official identification, I'm pretty sure they'll accept it.
Easy, bet.
Just
But
make it your middle name.
so they made sure that people's names are correct
Yeah.
before proceeding to rounds. They go into rounds. Before rounds, vendors.
Yeah.
How was vendors?
They had two.
They had one day one.
They had two. They had Win Condition and Battle City.
Okay, I only saw the one day one.
Yeah,
Battle City?
Win Condition was the big one that was there. They had like a huge venue with like a lot of product.
Plenty of
And
SPs. They had, I think they had Premium Collection 2020 boxes
Yes, yeah, they did.
because we saw some people opening up those day two.
And then Battle City was only having like top loaders full with like SPs and all that. They weren't like interested in buying; they were more selling. Then Win Condition was doing like what Kingslayer does for their events, where they buy and sell and all that.
Yeah.
They were doing that there.
Win Condition also had the 10th anniversary boxes.
Yes, yeah,
So, for those who don't know, the 10th anniversary box is something that Bushy released for Japan and English. If you bought it in English, you ended up with Japanese packs. But you get a pack of sleeves, a deck box, and a promo card. And it coincides with one of the three updated or new encounter ride lines for Phantom Blaster, Overlord, and Majesty Lord Blaster.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the ones that the sleeves are literally like the covers of booster set 1 through 4.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I love those. I want to get some. It's like having a magazine on your deck.
Yeah.
Like a paper magazine, guys. So, finally out of the neat and gritty designer part of the festival.
Yep.
Rounds. So, you guys were so excited the first 3 rounds. I got those messages a lot.
Oh yeah, I was updating
Yeah.
every time.
Game 1 ours, game 2 ours, game 3 ours. I'm like, holy cow, you know, they may take it. Game 3-1, everyone coming in being like, brush it off, get to the next one.
Yeah. Then we so round 1. So we played. I ended up playing against Nirvana. He played against
Bruce.
and then I don't remember what Devlin was playing against, but he played Barrow the whole event. Barrow was pretty much like our rogue pick that we put in that spot. Sorry, everyone. We have a wild Logan in the background making noise. But yeah, so we put our rogue spot at C because we figured that most people overdress-wise was going to put a rogue deck at C spot, or they were going to put Bastion, which Barrow just like destroys. So round 1, I got it. Me?
This is better?
Is this?
Okay. This should be better then.
Yeah. I was about to say, I'm screaming in the headphones. Okay. But, so, I won mine, Devlin won his. Going into round 2, I played against another Nirvana. So that was like another auto win kind of for me. You ended up winning yours, and then Devlin won his as well.
Yeah.
Round 3, that was my only loss of the day, which was unironically to the best matchup to Magnolia, and it's Prison. And like, it really ticked me off that I lost that match. But yeah, I lost to a good player. They were the people who were undefeated on the day. They were first going into Top Cut. So I don't remember what you played.
Was it Team Greyluck?
No.
No?
I think that might have been Magnolia.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think that might have been the Magnolia that I lost to.
Yeah.
Because I played, throughout the day, I played 2 Magnolia, 2 Bruce, 2 Prison.
Yeah. He played a good variety of decks. And then Devlin ended up winning his, and we were just watching my match end. I actually could have won that match if I would have played the last turn differently, but you know, can't win them all.
Yeah.
Round four afterwards, I played Bastion. Played against Bastion, and I beat that. He played. I don't remember. I don't remember much what you played against.
I think that was the round that I played Prison, and I beat it.
Okay. And then Devlin won his.
Oh, so you guys lost round 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
We lost round 3, and then we proceeded to lose 5 and 6, which I played against another Nirvana, and then I played Flagberg Zorgo mix.
So I was fighting Nirvana.
Huh?
I was fighting Nirvana.
How was fighting it? I mean, Anderson prepped me for it the whole entire time. Literally playing against him, I was just constantly like in the driver's seat against a Nirvana matchup with Mag. Plus, like, there's not much Nirvana can do, like getting swung at 6 times unless you hit a defensive.
This man takes my decks and just goes in and starts winning games.
Hey, you know? Yeah, unironically, that was your list. I didn't do anything to it either. I literally just played it as is. I was tempted to change some things, but like for consistency reasons, I just didn't want to mess with it. We were play testing just as that strict list. So I didn't change anything to it. I don't believe your list changed at all.
No, mine was once I had sent you the deck list about 2 weeks prior. The deck didn't end up changing from there.
Yeah. And then Devlin ended up playing a barrel list that played 7 draws.
You know, it's funny as I don't talk about chat, but like Devlin's in chat.
Yeah, yeah. Devlin played a barrel list that played 7 draws, I believe. And the thing that he wanted to do was make sure that he saw all of his combo pieces, so that he didn't have to worry about the issue that barrel always has, and it's you have a low hand size going to anybody's kill turn. I actually have like notes from him that he
actually, round 1, he ended up with an 11 card hand in
Yeah.
Barrow Magnus. So a standard deck with 11 cards in hand, also being Barrow Magnus.
Did you have deck left?
Yes. He was playing the grade 2 Ludley, which is on place if you have Barrow Magnus as your Vanguard. Counterblast 1, choose any number of normal units from your soul, put them back in the deck. And then she gets +5 for each one that you put back, and you shuffle your deck, of course. So he would use that to recycle for anything extra that he had in soul that he didn't need there.
So yeah, literally, in one of these notes, he says that he played 7 draws so that he allowed for good discard for the ride deck, and then it also allowed him to see pieces for when he rode the first grade 3, so that he didn't have to hold back at all with comboing. And also, like, if you see more of your draws for Barrow, that means that you have more guard power. So, like, if you don't want to push in at all, then you have the hand to, like, defend against the entire, like, meta. Because it's either you go to 15 on first grade 3, or you stay at 10 and then go later. Because Barrow only has, like, one mode. It's either I push now or I push later. So that's pretty much what it was. So yeah, we finished X3 on Overdress. We finished 11th overall, which was surprising because like our tiebreakers wasn't the greatest like going into our round 6 loss, except for the people who were number 1 after Swiss.
Then this brings me to my weird thing about Georgia that I found out, right? So you guys, like you said, were the 9th team to register.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Tiebreakers are decided for however you were.
How
is that a thing?
I guess it's because like they didn't want to.
They didn't record your individual records. So if you won, it was, or if your team won, it was considered that all 3 people won.
Yeah.
Not 2-1, 3-1. You know what I'm referring to. 2-1 or 3-0. They didn't record that, so there's no real way to decide tiebreakers once you get a bunch of people with even scores. Unfortunately, the folly of the way that Bushiroad set up their system for that tournament.
Yeah, and it was very weird to see the rankings for like premium, because premium was a lot different. We didn't have like a 0 to like 50 team. We had like from 50 onwards. So like that's how they went with their system afterwards, was who registered first. Which, like, in my opinion, I don't think it's the greatest way to go off of, because like we had the number one team going into Top Cut was like our best tiebreaker, and like out of all the X3s, we probably should have been the highest out of all of them, like in general, because of that team. If you actually think about how tiebreakers work.
Definitely, I know how tiebreakers work.
Yeah.
So that's why I was kind of shocked that the way tiebreakers work is by who came in earliest. Like, God forbid, I'll be there at 1 a.m. Like, number one, please.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. So after that event, you guys relaxed, headed out, probably went to get barbecue or something.
No.
What do you guys do?
Not after day one. Day one, we got
Pizza.
pizza and just stuck back at the hotel and just play tested.
And passed out.
Yep, pretty much. We
All
were we were trying to get locked in for premium.
Okay. Premium, if I remember correctly, was Eradicators, Great Nature, and Order Colony.
Correct.
All right.
It sounds good on paper, doesn't it?
I mean, it all depends who was A, who was B, and who was C.
So we had Order Colony at our A spot. Then we had him with Irads at B spot. Sorry for anybody who just heard that I just punched the mic. And then there was me as Great Nature at C spot. Going into the event, like, it was a really good lineup, like how we had it. If I think about it now, I probably would have swapped him in Order Colony. But that was like, he ended up playing against 3 Order Colonies all day. So like,
It worked out for me.
yeah,
at
it
least.
worked out for him. He went X2 individually.
X1
X1.
because we didn't play the last round.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We ended up dropping after round 5 because we were just like not wanting to deal with that. Plus, we would have got the bye anyways if we would have stayed. So there was a lot of people dropping after premium.
Yeah.
How many were after round 3?
I don't remember the exact number.
Yeah, I don't remember. Like, it was more like round 4 that everybody started dropping.
Because you only start dropping once you hit X3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. A lot of people I remember would drop at X2, be like, oh, that's it for me.
X2 was pretty, like, you were guaranteed top 8 if you had the tiebreaker that they had set. But yeah, we ended up having one of Kingslayer's teams being third, so it worked out in general.
Yeah.
And we all went and hung out at Applebee's.
Applebee's.
Yeah,
You guys went to
we
Georgia.
We went to the
Whoa.
tradition.
You went to Georgia to get, I know you're about to say something. Went to Georgia to get Applebee's. You know what's funny? I think we went to go get Applebee's that day too.
Correct.
Yeah, we did.
We're going to get Applebee's today.
We went to go get Applebee's without you.
The Applebee's. Were
Yeah, we had a group of 16, and we ended up sitting like in the back. They made us our own room, so we were secluded off from people.
Yeah.
And we were watching the Miami Heat game while we were eating and all that. We were all just, hanging out, talking. Definitely got made fun of for going into the wrong stride.
He went into Overwhelm. He was playing Order Colony. He went into Overwhelm against Nightmare Dolls. And he had the option to go into Gridora. The reasoning being time was about to be called and he was at higher damage.
And
So
he
was
also
trying
needed
to
cards,
push.
and he also needed cards in hand to guard. Which, like, in theory, sounds good, but like you're going against Nightmare Dolls, and Gridora shuts down what Nightmare Dolls tries to do in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he chose Overwhelm, which gave Nightmare Dolls the ability to do their turn.
Yep.
Pretty
Instead of going into Gridora to stop things from being called from Soul to guard the turn.
yes.
Correct.
Devlin, we're going to talk about this later.
He's not living it down. Marshall has already said that he's not living it down ever. So
The Order Bugs player of Team Eclipse is judging you, Dolan. Just saying, if you can hear me.
The Order Colony player of Team Eclipse is judging you.
Just in case you didn't hear him.
yeah. I mean, like it sounds good on paper. Like I won't lie, the decision to go into Overwhelm because there's a bunch of arrested rear guards to like plus, but like it's against Nightmare Dolls, and like you have 2 different strides that shuts down Nightmare Dolls in different situations. So like, take or pick whatever you're gonna do.
So you guys finished premium. How far are we? We're 36 minutes. We're 36 minutes in. We're
Yeah,
doing good. So you guys went in 4-2. No, what was your record in premium?
And premium, we were like 1-4, and then we decided to drop.
Not 1-4.
Oh wait, no, 2-3, 2-3, and we just didn't want to play round 6.
You guys went 2-3.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's crazy.
literally, I had to play 2 mirror matches
Against Great Nature.
against Great Nature, and
But-
Logan, you laughed back there, but one of the Great Nature mirror matches, he literally played every G guard known to existence that will kill itself off, so he would end up having 30 cards left in hand.
He also had to play a game with the Rhino as his vanguard.
And I
Did not
almost
have
won
Big
that match.
Belly.
You guys.
I literally rode the Rhino. I said it feels bad for riding this guy, and proceeded to almost win the match that turn. So,
So just overall rough time.
yeah, I mean, like,
I mean, mine was all right. I was the one that went X-1 that day. My only loss being to crit sacking.
Revengers.
Revengers crit sacking me. That was it.
Yeah.
That's fair. So you guys didn't make top, but you guys were also with the Kingslayer crew.
Yeah.
How happy were you guys when Marshall, Andrew Condrick, speaking of which, Andrew Condrick, episode 2? 3?
It was the same one I was on.
Episode 3?
Yeah.
Check it out. So Andrew Condrick, Eric Zarita, and
Marshall.
Craven.
I don't know any other Marshall. Oh, you're just giving me the last name. Yeah, you're right.
Because of anybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had Marshall Craven. I'm not going to say their names again.
So
The
we
Demon,
had-
the Tutor, and what was Eric Zarita?
Finish him, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you're right. It was Finish Him.
It was either the D or finish him. So take your pick on which one you want to call him.
I'll take the last one.
Okay.
I'll choose the latter.
So
Thank
it
you.
was Luard, Order Colony, and Jewel Knights.
Which is a very interesting group. Like, Jewel Knights was like that big one, and Order Colony.
Yeah, but it was, you put literally the best Shadow Paladin player probably in the game right now playing Luard.
That's fair. What a compliment, man.
Yeah.
You heard that, Andrew? We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. But yeah, like literally, like he's been playing Luard in Great Nature for like almost forever. Like if anybody would be able to top with one of those 2 decks, it would be him.
Luard since it came out back in G-Era, and he enjoyed playing Great Nature since Legion.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we'll talk about the 2 cards for that later
For
for Great Nature.
the
Legion pair.
the magical scientist.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can actually make that transition now because we're actually reaching the end of pretty much the whole event.
Of Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys hung out with Kingslayer. You guys had a great time. Almost top standard.
Yeah.
I guess this is one of my questions I just thought of right now. Do you guys, or would you have rather played V Premium instead of standard that day?
No.
No, I think we were more confident playing Overdress than V Premium.
Mm-hmm.
I have recently been playing like Great Nature and V Premium, and I know what I'm going to be using, like going into Texas. But like I felt way more confident playing Magnolia than I would have playing Great Nature. Especially like I may have been like 2 years out of V Premium, but like I still keep track of what goes on.
Yeah.
But like I was definitely more in the right mindset to play Overdress than V Premium.
I think that's like, sorry for the pause for a moment.
No, you're
I was just processing and I'm like, it makes sense because that's the thing that you've been exposed to the most. But
Yeah.
then if someone were to like take a step back, they're like, there's still so much random moments in Overdressed than there are in V Premium. But I guess that's what makes it a little bit more enjoyable is those random
the
moments.
random moments. So you mean the over trigger getting hit on you?
I'm trying not to say the over trigger.
I mean, that's literally the only thing that's different between the 2 formats.
I'm aware. I'm just trying to not use its term. It's like
That's the only thing
Voldemort.
different between the 3 formats in general is V Premium doesn't have the OT. So you literally can guard, like, you
Through
can
the pass.
overguard or you and like just be fine without getting sacked by 100 million power.
Yep.
So, leaving that and going into now reveals. That's a really bad transition. You guys returned home on a 9-hour trip back home.
No, it was more like
8.
8.
I was in the
We
ballpark.
we left pretty early though.
That's fair. You guys came home, and then we got reveals.
Oh yeah.
There's the transition. So I'm just going to pull up my computer here and pull up living proof cord, go up. I got to add this thing to my server. It's so good.
I'll start with the reveal that I know the most about, which is actually a little bit prior to the event, but it is near and dear to me. Ultimate Dimensional Robo Reverse Dayusha.
It's so good. That card is so
We
good.
talked about that a little bit last week.
Yeah,
But
where you can literally
go
do
into
two.
it.
You can do 2 X-Gallops and then be like, oh, you used your whole hand to guard my X-Gallops. Here's another attack.
So Reverse Dayusha says, as his first ability, auto hand. At the end of the battle that your Vanguard attacked, if you have only attacked with Dimensional Robo cards this turn, you may pay the cost, counterblast 1. If you do, Superior Ride him from your hand with drive -1. And then his second effect is act once per turn, walk 2 of your Dimensional Robo rear guards, and your opponent's Vanguard gets minus 10,000 until end of turn. So, in Premium, you will end up only using him for his first effect more often than not. But the combo is you stride into Bravest Peak Excalibur, have his condition met where he'll restand, swing once, swing again, then since he can't restand again, Superior Ride into Reverse Dayusha, so that way your opponent has to deal with a third Vanguard swing in addition to whatever rear guard swings you're going to have from there.
You can also just not boost with the card behind Excalibur, and then keep in mind you're going to have Twin Order probably in this deck if you're playing Reverse Dayusha, so he's not just 13 with 2 crit, because then you can actually get
That would be the issue, because most people would take one of your Excalibur hits.
Yeah.
And if they hit a trigger, you have no power unless you gave it, because you always go force 2. Yeah. There's no reason not to.
There's a reason to not do it, but like you would have to build your deck around it.
Yeah.
But another way to combo with the card is with the GB8, oddly enough. Dimensional Robo Overall Command Ultimate Die King, who says when he attacks, he gets plus 10,000 for each of your rear guards. Then if his power is 80,000 or greater, for each of his critical, all of your rear guards get that much and 10Ks. So if you don't boost him, but you give him a 5K off of an effect, so he'll hit 83 when he swings, you'll dump the power back into your rear guards. At the end of the battle that he swung, you can then Superior Ride into Reverse Dayusha with a booster that has 70K on it.
Yeah. There's a lot you can do with the card. And for Dimension Police players, I know you've been looking for this card for probably a while, even though that we've had Die Liner as your addiction.
So before we leave Dimension Police, since you're on a roll right now, we're going to do a big jump, and then we'll come back.
Okay.
But we did get a reveal, I do believe, 2 days ago for Dimension Police.
Metalborg Mist Ghost.
Ghost Mist.
Ghost Mist.
One of those two.
We got him. He messed up. Roll credit. I'm kidding. We're not rolling credits.
So he's on place, Vanguard or Rearguard. Check the top 5. Add a Metalborg amongst them to your hand. If he's on Rearguard circle, you discard a card.
God, how does he remember it like that?
And then he has a second effect, auto Rearguard circle. When your grade 3 unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, you may Soul Blast 1. If you do, the Vanguard gains the effect. All of your units on the Vanguard circle get +5.
Yes. God, man, he's so good. He always remembers the card.
So they've already revealed Metalborg Lionetter as a promo for specifically Metalborgs. So more than likely we're going to get Metalborg Drighton, the Legion leader for that pair, as the third triple rare for Dimension Police. And I believe Ghost Mist is the one that fully confirms that, as he is a Metalborg support card to help the Sendbuster, Urbuster deck as it currently is, and give it a consistency booster. Even though the deck really doesn't actually need to see Sendbuster, oddly enough, it just has to see Brad Black in terms of V premium, because you ride Brad Black, swing with him, trigger his effect, check the top 7, Superior Ride, Sendbuster. Use Sendbuster's effect to Superior Call Urbuster. And that gives you an extra 2 attacks.
And so coming to the real question, is it premium relevant? Do you see hopes for it in premium?
Do you mean Metalborgs in general or just the...
Metal Borgs.
Well, you can answer Ghostmist and then Metalborgs in
I
general.
mean, Ghostmist is...
Ghostmist, so his rear guard circle effect is neat. If you're playing the Daikaiser Legion, it's another way to give power. But overall, I don't see it as being a very useful card because Metalborgs themselves aren't in it. Metalborgs don't do what Dieliner does or Daikaiser does to justify their place in premium. Daikaiser, which we saw in Georgia as one of the top 8 decks, not top 4, but as one of the top 8 decks, there was a Daikaiser focused list. And he ran the Legion, and the Legion gets... it ran Force 1, and whenever you have a Legion on a Force 1 marker, both the units get the 10k, so they end up sharing that 10k instead becomes a 20k. So the deck has guard break, and it can be very high rolly, good for a team format. But what Metalborgs do doesn't compare to that. And then on the other side is Dieliner, which Dieliner is very consistent at what it does. And Metalborg are consistent in what they do. They just don't put it as much power and don't have as much guard.
Yeah, Metalborgs in general are probably better in V Premium.
I think I'm starting to see that. So, leaving off the Dimension Police, that was a lot of information. I'm getting a headache.
We're going to go to your favorite reveal.
No. I need to recover a bit. I think the next reveal, though, was a War Deity, Ashura Kaiser.
Yeah.
So, hand once per turn?
I think Nick's got this one.
Yeah. So act hand. If your Vanguard is Ashura Kaiser, costs CB1, ride this card as stand. So it's pretty much once per turn because you have to be on the original. I
Okay.
believe.
Works great with Merciless.
Act once per turn. If you have an Ashura Kaiser in Soul, cost Soul Blast 1, look at the top 3 of your deck, choose up to 1, put it on top of your deck, and discard the rest. So basically you can set up for your Vanguard swing or all of your rear guards that get to restand. Auto once per turn. At the end of battle, a grade 2 or greater unit appeared in your drive check. Stand one of your rear guards, and if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, CB1, stand all of your rear guards. So basically what this card allows you to do is, if nobody's ever played Ashura Kaiser in general, the support for Ashura Kaiser, it gains effects when it stands in your Vanguard is Ashura Kaiser.
Yes.
And so basically what this card is, it turns on everything that all of your rear guards get to do because you're going to reveal something that's like a grade 2, and then it'll stand your board.
Specifically, there are the 2 Samurai cards, the grade 2 and the grade 1, that state when your unit is stood by a card effect, they get +4.
Yeah, it's +4. It's a weird number. It's great nature numbers.
So you can sit there and swing with your entire board, including your 2 Excel markers, drive check the grade 2 or greater, activate his effect to restand them all. And if you have a full board of 2 Excel, that ends up being 7 instances of +4, so 28 to all instances of the Samurai units.
Yep. So sadly, the Samurais, though, that with their effect, they're premium locked. So
Yeah, so you can outplay him in V Premium.
So you can take your pick if you want to try this deck out in premium.
You said Samurais, and I was listening.
Sadly, Nova. So I think that this card, sadly, is still. It's a card that works so great in V Premium, but would you rather use this card's effect or V Buster?
Well, you still have Merciless.
Okay, or you can use Merciless.
So you have Scarlet Bird and Merciless. You are on Ashura Kaiser. You stroll into Merciless. You can pretty much get the 3 attacks with Merciless, proceed into War Deity, get an Excel marker, draw a card, and then already have Twin Drive after you emptied out the drive checks on Merciless.
I still think that Ethics Buster is the best for Merciless, just for what it does in general.
That deck is really good.
Yeah, I think Ethics Buster just uses Merciless in a different way than what it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
because Ethics Buster is basically just on ride, he swings.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be arrested. You stride, Merciless. Literally do what Nova Grapplers does best and stand one of your rear guards and then Merciless triggers.
Yes.
So you can take your pick on which one you're going to use.
It's called playtesting, right? At the end of the
Yeah.
day. It's one great thing. Now, we're talking about great things right now.
So we do have, I'll talk about King Serpent real quick.
I'll wait. I'll wait.
Huh? Yeah.
I'll wait.
Yeah, we'll wait for your favorite card. So King Serpent is when this unit is placed on rear guard by a card's ability, you soul charge one, and it gets 10k power. And then when it's retired from a rear guard by a card's ability, and you have no face-up cards in damage, you countercharge one. So it's pretty much just like what King Serpent was made to do, except it gets 10k.
Mm-hmm.
But you're gonna also argue that why not play Grenache, which does the same thing.
Doesn't go to
Except
soul.
It doesn't go to soul. But the deck for Grand Blue in general uses so many CB and like in a turn that you're gonna rather use Grenache than King Serpent.
Yes.
Also, you don't want to soul charge in that deck because it decks you out faster.
Yeah, because you'll deck out. I can imagine somebody plays a King Serpent and they forget that they have like minimal cards in deck, and then they soul charge one and then have to triple drive, and they have one card left in deck.
Come on.
But
So, following the King Serpent one, right? It's just that I feel talking about support cards are kind of weird because, like, King Serpent, like, it's still not better than the first King Serpent.
no, because it's on demand
So, instead of reading these support cards for Dark Irregulars,
for Amon.
I'm more curious about Amon, which I'm kind of disappointed about.
Yes.
Yeah,
However, we are going to talk about one of his support cards, the grade one.
The grade one is so good,
So,
but you have to be on Amon for its effect.
so here's the thing, is that current day DI still runs original Yellow Bolt. A 7k grade 1 with 5k shield. Its only effect is rest, soul charge 1. This card has that effect, but it's now an 8k grade 1 with 10k shield.
Yeah.
So this just replaced Yellow Bolt. And then if you happen to run them on, it has more effects.
Yeah. So literally, the effect that we care about in this card is act, rear guard, cost, rest this unit, soul charge 1. And then if you happen to be on Amon, it gets 1k power for each card in your soul.
Actually, specifically, it says choose one of your units
Yeah.
with them on. So you can choose itself.
Yeah.
And if you run Monochrome of Nightmare Land and stand it,
Yeah.
it will stand with all of that power.
So it's just a good like beat stick for NOK. You don't have to like rely on much of Yellow Bolt anymore for what NOK was gonna do. And now you have a 10k shield.
And that's where DIs is currently at, like either Amon or NOK, right? I mean, Amon's not a non-play skill; it's an act skill, correct?
It's
Yeah.
it's actually Raiji and NOK now, because Raiji is actually pretty decent.
Blade Wing.
Yeah.
Or new one.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The new Blade Wing Raiji, it does the opposite of what Dark Regulars is supposed to do, where it matters about your bind zone. But like if you get to what it's like supposed to do, like it hits hard. Like it's a hard hitting deck that you can kill on first turn. If
Did anyone fight a Dark Irregular player the other day?
no,
All right.
I saw people playing NOK, but we didn't run into any.
So quickly going, Drew, reverse Amon. It was not a counterblast. It was just lock two rear guards, and until end of turn, this unit gains plus 2k for each card in your soul. If this unit's power is 40k or greater, this unit gains critical plus 1.
Yeah,
I don't think why it needed a DI skill in there.
You mean DP?
DP. Yeah.
Whoops. Secretly in
And
disguise.
then the extra effect is act Vanguard once per turn, CB1, choose up to 2 cards with Amon from your soul, call them to rear guard, and then they go back to your soul.
And a Pale Moon skill.
Yeah.
But if you lock them, they of course don't go back.
Yeah. So that's what you do is you CB1, call 2 cards from your soul. You'll activate probably the grade 1.
Atrocious
and then,
blow.
Yeah, and then lock it so it doesn't leave.
All right. That's pretty cheeky for the most part. But the one thing that gets me the most, right, is like They're both axe skills.
Yeah.
So it would have to be the starting card. So no life key with this card is now worth it.
Yeah. It's a V premium.
And then another thing, it's just the limit break version of it, but times 2.
Yeah. Which, like, I think that this is another V premium card.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's V clan selection, but like,
Yeah.
we want to see premium. Man.
We always look at the premium.
We always look at the premium aspect. And now that brings me
To your favorite card.
to my favorite card.
The card I actually hoped they didn't get.
And I am so glad because, guys, I need to give you guys a little bit of insight. Anderson was against me getting this card for the longest time. He kept telling me and doing the movement. It's like, Frankie, don't waste your time. You know it's Vowing Saber. You know it's Vowing
We
Saber.
still haven't got-
I know.
yeah,
we
we
can
still
still get
haven't got
Vowing
more.
Saber.
Yeah.
But we got the one and only Eradicator Sweep Command Dragon.
Yep.
Sweep Command Dragon. The best card in my whole arsenal is back. It was good in G. Okay, don't at me with premium right now. All right, the old Sweep Command was a little rough, guys. Okay.
Well, yeah, going into an 11K Vanguard isn't the greatest. in
no
Yeah,
Excel.
it's not fun. So, thankfully, it has an on-play skill. It's like they knew.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Now, if anyone has not heard about Sweep Command before I read this skill, Sweep Command is a decent card. It retires something one place. You put an Eradicator from your field to soul, the old one, and retire something in the front row. Okay. Now, he had a grade 0 called Eradicator First Thunder Draco card, which is bought out right now.
We won't talk about the price it was at.
Uh,
We won't talk about the price.
for 2 seconds when it was bought out, it was $1,200 for a common.
Yeah.
I was happy. Now it's $7. It's still a lot. I like how you guys
For a
both
common.
bend your head at the same time.
For a common now.
Exactly. So, this starter said when one of your opponent's rear guards was retired, you may put this card into your soul. Search top 10, like the 1/4 of your deck, for a Eradicator Sweep Command Dragon and write it on your Vanguard circle. Now, you know why this is good? It was not during your turn. You can do it on your turn, or you can do it on your opponent's turn.
So that it skips whatever attack is happening.
So if your opponent was attacking you with their Vanguard and they said you couldn't PG the attack, DP, you could retire one of their rear guards by going into impede or intercepting with unruly, proceed to search top 10, which Anderson's probably going to say in the second that it's inconsistent. Grab Eradicator Sweep Command Dragon, write it, and the attack has been nullified because the attack target has disappeared.
So do you know what DP says to this? There's a PG that they have that says you can bind it from the drop zone, choose 6 of your units, and give them resist.
So we're slowly finding new solutions to make sure we attack multiple things in the
be
same
honest.
row.
Yeah.
But we'll be fine. Don't worry. We have Resolve.
Now we have a new one because you would run one of the old one because you never wanted to see that card and ride it.
No, not at all. But now that brings me to Eradicator Sweep Command Dragon V-Series version. When this unit is placed on Vanguard or Rearguard circle, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards, bind it, and then choose up to one of your opponent's back row Vanguards. Rear guards. They actually miswrote it here. And move it into the front row rearguard circle. Mm-hmm. So kind of rough that you have to move something to the front row. God forbid you're fighting Aqua Force, and that's like one of the what's
Your
that grade
death
1
sentence.
blue
It
wave?
says
Yeah.
up to. So.
Yeah, so you don't have to.
Awesome.
If you're playing against
Up to?
yeah, if you're
Choose
playing
none.
against- yeah.
Awesome. Call it a day. Set yourself up for the new stride right away. This card. Busted already. When your opponent's Vanguard is bound during your turn, okay, we had to do one of them during our turn. That's fine.
Yeah.
Choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards and bind it. If there are 4 or more cards in your damage zone, so limit break 4, that's fine. Counter blast 1, soul blast 1, gain an imaginary gift excel. Choose a card with Eradicator from its drop zone. This is to all you Grand Blue players that kept calling sleeve tugging about. Yeah, we took a step from you. We took a step from you, and we called an Eradicator to that Excel circle. You remember Choa? Because
It
he
doesn't
remembered
say-
you.
So it doesn't say to that rear guard. It just says to a rear guard.
Perfect, but it's still Choa going called to the Excel circle.
Yeah.
So if you decide to use him offensively for a restand, you can then push even more attacks.
Yes. Now I'm going to say something and watch it get bought out, even though I don't have that many people, right? Watching this or probably hearing this. You can pick up the old Voltage Horn Dragon and run in the deck because he doesn't require Eradicators at all, right? The biggest thing that requires Eradicators was Unruly. Yeah. So this retires for a Soul Blast. So at this point, and it's choice. It says front row, but you can choose the front row unit you want to pop, which is the majority of decks. There's not a lot of decks that attack from the back row right now in Premium. We know they exist, but they're not using them. And you can pop it, which is already a lot better than Twin Sword Eradicator Conan Shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would literally yeet that card out of the deck to put Sweep Command and his little compadre First Thunder Draco Kid. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the part that gets really interesting. There are now, and I was talking to Nick about this before, so many ways to play with Eradicators at this point that it outweighs Vanquisher.
Yeah, it's becoming good stuff for Eradicators. You literally are having so many options that now you have to either play it one way or you play it the other.
And I was bringing up to you that Eradicators kind of replaced Vanquisher.
Yeah.
And this is where I get this really interesting thought process here. Sweep Command is a card that you won't be able to use not only on your opponent's turn, because if you keep waiting for your opponent's turn, you're going to see all your Sweep Commands.
Yeah.
So you want to take advantage of Sweep Command as much as you can, both turns. So one process that I did kind of like come up with, right, is you can ignore Vowing Sword kind of right now. Because the new Stride gives 10k to the front row for every empty front row rear circle your opponent has. I believe it's one in attacks.
Act.
It's
Yeah,
act.
it's an act.
Even better.
Act CB1.
So you fill the field. Like I was saying before, if I choose not to retire something in their back row, they still have those back row units because the Stride does not retire anything. Then this is where Vowing Sword comes in.
Voltage Horn?
You mean
Voltage Horn, yeah. Well, I said Vowing Sword, didn't I?
Yeah.
I meant Voltage Horn because I'm talking about a way that Vowing Sword does not need to be included. You can go ride either Descendant or Sweep Command, or stay on Sweep Command, whichever, right? Because the fact of the matter is, all you're doing is generating more excels. You go into the new Stride, you activate skill Soul Blast 1, draw for any open rear circles in the front, which if you rolled Sweep Command the preceding turn, there are barely any rear circles in the front, or rear guards in the front row rear circles. Proceed to call your field after you draw. Activate skill, give 20 or 30k to the front row. Have Voltage Horn already set to go with a First Thunder Draco Kid. Attack with all your big attacks first. Probably leave Choa out for the rewrite to see if you get any crits so you can give Choa before you do Sweep Command. Activate skill of Voltage Horn. Bind something. First Thunder Draco Kid. Top 10. Ride Sweep Command over the Stride because after the attack. So you already throw check 3 times. You're not going to get another 2 drives and another Excel Circle. So you drew 3 cards.
And a call.
And a call. So if you need anything at this point, call it out. If you need a First Thunder Draco Kid for next turn,
or,
it's there.
Or an Unruly.
First Thunder Draco Kid can be recalled from drop. Just thought about that.
Yeah.
Fun times.
So here's the thing. I don't see Descendant being played with him. Because he doesn't have a good skill to combo with Descendant.
So sadly, you do not get the on-play skill. Because you already placed Descendant. Descendant's on-play skill activates and copies that skill. It can't get the on-play skill. It gets the on-play skill, but it won't be able to activate it.
Correct. So in
The
this instance,
only skill it would get would be the Soul Blast 1 from his skill to pop something and then activate the Soul Blast 1 counterblast there to gain an Excel marker.
But my argument is he doesn't combo with him.
No.
So why not just do either Gauntlet Buster or Vowing Sword in the deck?
And these are fair decisions, right?
Yeah.
My one, this is where playtesting comes in because we're all talking Fury. I haven't tested it out yet. All I've been doing is going through like meta analysis. I want to say not meta analysis,
mental analysis.
Mental analysis.
We were
There you
literally
go.
on the phone the other day, and you were like going off on all the combos you could do with Sweep Command.
Exactly. I was excited, man.
But yeah, I honestly don't think Descendant will be ran with Sweep Command. I honestly think it's going to be Gauntlet Buster because you're going to want to have something else on Vanguard that like if you don't see sweep command, what you do is you swing gauntlet. Gauntlet's big with like crits, so they have to guard it. Because imagine they're at 3 damage and they're playing just a base deck, so Protector Force. They have to PG it or die. And then heaven forbid you're playing against an Excel deck and you roll Gauntlet Buster.
Now, if they tell me I'm wrong and you can activate the on-play skill, then Descendant is a favored right.
Yeah.
The reason I think so is because the card activates when something is bound. So if you place Descendant before you stride, activate the Soul Blast skill of Sweet Command. This is only if they allow that skill to work like that. Then pops on, you can counter Soul and get another Excel marker, draw a card, and then stride. Which, at this point, you're just calling bodies to the board, and they're all swinging for 30k if the front row is empty, which is overall the goal that you can kind of do.
Of Eradicators in general.
And I think the reason why I bring up all these like things ignoring Vowing Sword is because we're getting to a point where like in Premium, and I hate to say this, you guys are great, right? There are moments in Premium where people get very upset at cards that are not the issue, right? And the top 3 ones, right? Like, we know what are the real issues, right? Like, that order is busted in Order Colony. But people are arguing
It's the
Gridor.
dragon. It's not, it's the dragon.
But people are are saying that Gridor is the biggest problem. Why does that card exist?
Gridor has been a thing for a while.
Exactly.
So,
That's what I'm
like,
getting
if
at.
you haven't played around it like at all, then that's like, sorry, but like if you can't play around a card, then
That's an issue.
yeah.
And then people are like, Stunverse needs to be hit to 2.
Stunverse is fine because the problem is everybody's complained that now we've played around Stunverse and now we haven't. Eradicators hasn't. Narukami in general has an answer of us playing around Stunverse.
Yes.
So
like, that's what I think is like the biggest like upkeep that I'm seeing here, right? Is that we are now finding ways around the things that hinder us. So that's what makes me kind of like proud of where Eradicators is going. Because you have the opportunity to be like, okay, well, if you have a problem with Stunverse, I go into Sweep Command, I pop your field on your turn. I'm still missing some stuff. If I am allowed to do this, this is just theoretical. I ride Descendant, pop the last bit, stride, go into the card, activate skill, draw 4. All right, then we call my whole 6 front row rear guards, and activate skill. Front row gets plus 30, and let's get swinging. Oh, okay, you have that 1 rear guard in the back row that I left just for this reason. I'm on my last attack, Vulture Torn, activate skill, counterblast 1. First on a Dracokin, top 10, Sweep Command. I'm not done. You want to go? It almost feels like they're Nova Grapplers. I know. That was the longest conversation ever.
yeah, I mean, again, I think that we're getting into the part of Narukami where now Eradicators is becoming like, now you have to pick and choose what you're playing. This is becoming like what Magic has become, where like you have good stuff tribal. This is what it's good stuff Eradicators. So,
but overall, we are coming into the hour and 10. I'm actually kind of shocked we've gone this far. I'm going to double check, make sure we got your last cards. Metalborg.
We have the Rebirth.
The Rebirth and your
My Legion pair.
Legion pair. I almost forgot. My apologies.
No, you're good.
But I think we're going to do you two announcing the last 2 cards. So we'll start with whoever wants the Rebirth, the one who used to and sold Overlord.
There you go.
So,
Mr. Anderson.
yeah, I used to have Overlord, but I sold it.
Can you get it back?
No. The card's good, but not that good. So his first effect is at the beginning of the battle phase. If you have at least 1 rear guard, lock all of your rear guards, and he gains the effect until end of turn. At the end of the battle that he attacked, counterblast 1, discard a card, restand him, no minus. Actually, not even counterblast 1, just discard a card, and he restands.
No, it is Counterblast. Counterblast 1, discard 1, stand this unit.
Okay. So he restands. You're going to end up using Force 1 with him, and you'll combo him with Dauntless Drive Dragon in order to give him multiple restands in the same turn. So his second effect is when he attacks Soul Blast 1, for every 2 of your locked cards, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. And then his third and final effect.
Are you done?
No, he's got one
This
more.
is a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
He's got a third effect. At the end of the battle that he attacked, if you have 4 or more damage, 5 locked rear guards, you can counterblast 1, soul blast 1, discard 2, restand him.
No. It's literally, you have to have 5 or more locked cards and 4 or more in your damage cost, discard 2, stand this unit, and get a force.
Okay.
It has no downside except for having locked cards.
Okay.
And
So
being at limit break 4.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So he restands twice on his own. With Dauntless, he restands 3 times with no drive minus.
Yeah, so this is going to be like one of your Kagero has like an Omega like win con turn in V Premium. Like as much as like we've been making fun of Overlord just being the flagship stuff for Kagero, like V Premium now just has an Omega like super plus turn with the rebirth. Going into my favorite clan, so Great Nature, we have Magic Scientist Tester Fox. If nobody knows, these 2 cards were the Legion pair when Legion came out for Great Nature.
I
were
was so
promos.
confused because I thought they were like an Omni Science card, and then like I saw Magic Scientist. I'm like, that's not the name.
Yeah, these were promos back in the day for when like they were giving just anything, any Legion to any clan.
These were the first cards besides Fighters Collection. When they released the Legions, and then these were like a set of promo cards because they never like gave them another Legion.
Yeah, this was just promos.
They never gave them a Legion in general besides these.
Yes, and Jewel Knights was one of them in these promo packs, and that's how Sword Me came to be.
Sword Me.
A little side story. Sorry about that.
All right. So auto, when placed on Vanguard or Rearguard, CB1, put 2 cards from your drop zone on the bottom of the deck, and then this unit gets 5k. If you put a normal unit and a trigger unit for the cost, you search your deck for the Legion mate, call it to Rearguard, and shuffle your deck. Act once per turn, cost Soul Blast 1, choose one of your Rearguards, it gets 10k power. And at the end of turn, retire it. If you retired the Legion mate, draw a card.
Both of these effects are active on Vanguard and Rearguard.
Yes. So the Legion mate is Illusionist Scientist, Researcher Fox. Auto on an additional Rearguard. When a card is discarded from your deck, this unit gets 5k power, just in general. So if you wanted to spice this up with Leopold or Isabel, like you can use that in here. And then auto, when this is retired from Rearguard by a card ability, CB1, search your deck for up to 1 card as the same name as your Vanguard, reveal it, put it into your hand. So essentially what this combo is you get to refill 2 cards from your drop back to your deck. You search for the Legion mate, call it to an additional Rearguard. And then Soul Blast 1, one of your Rearguards gets 10k, and then it dies. If it's the Legion mate, you draw a card, and then when the Legion mate dies, you get to search for a copy of your Vanguard. So it's pretty much like you refill just to deck thin even more, which is what Great Nature's like greatest thing is deck thinning in general.
You also get to guarantee the ultimate stride.
Yep.
Which is important for the Zoa turn.
Yep. So if you play this in premium, you get to just search for your Zoa whenever you want on will.
So my one question, right, is these are both Vanguard. Oh, well, place Vanguard or Rearguard. They pretty much can be used for any or.
Yeah.
Both of them are, right? Yeah, correct. Do you see this better as a Vanguard card than the Rearguard for
It's
premium?
a Rearguard.
It's definitely a Rearguard.
Because you're going to want to be on Big Belly. And then you call this, you search for the Legion mate. The Legion mate gets to search for a version of Big Belly. And then you get to draw a card from it dying at end of turn and then dying from Big Belly's effect.
And you wouldn't use this with Isabel.
No, because Isabel is a more reactive deck. So I think that if you wanted to play this in Isabel, you can because of the milling mechanic, and then the Rearguard gets +5. If you did that, you would only be playing the grade 2, I think, in Isabel specifically. In Big Belly, this is literally like the problem with the deck was always trying to see your ultimate stride. And now this just gives it like
Guaranteed.
a guaranteed one. So you can do this. You do your normal Big Belly turn with a Bolaro or the new stride that's coming out, which is just guaranteed 10k to your whole front row. And then your Rhino is big. The rear guard of this is going to be big. It's going to be like 29. Like that's just an abnormous like rear guard swing, just base. And then at the end of turn, Rhino dies. The Legion mate dies. You draw 2 cards off Big Belly. You draw a card off of the grade 3 because of the Legion mate dying. And then you essentially deck thin for your Vanguard. So that's 4 cards that you're already getting guaranteed, plus your drive checks. Plus, if you've done Bolaro, you're going to get a guaranteed draw a card if they hit. So, like, this is just giving Great Nature more tools that we can use to our advantage, which we've always done forever. Like, literally, it's if it says Vanguard, Rearguard, if it's most of the time, we're going to use it as a Rearguard because Big Belly is, like, one of the most popular Great Nature decks that just, you do Great Nature things. You get big, you swing big, and then at end of turn, you draw and deck thin because that's just like what you do. You have a big hand at the end of turn because you want to be able to guard with like everything. You can G guard and then just go into Zoa afterwards. That's been Great Nature's like bread and butter play forever since Rhino. Rhino and Monoculous Tiger with Zoa has always been like our bread and butter play, no matter what.
If they hit that, what are you going to do?
Yeah, like you have to make sure because Rhino says that you can't guard with grade 0s, and then if they mill a trigger, then you just can't guard.
Mm-hmm.
So
Outside of Heal Guardians.
No, because it says you have to guard with triggers if you mill a trigger.
Correct. The Heal Guardian is a trigger.
Okay, cool. You're not going to guard 99999 with just 4 heal triggers unless you're DP.
You're right.
Yeah, like that's the only deck that can hard guard the Zoa turn because of just Geomaglass just being such a like good card and Die Liner specifically in general.
I think like where I don't want to say Gridor. I meant
Gridor.
where Great Nature goes is like to kind of like an extent of like pushing for like the same turn.
Great Nature, in my opinion, was always the Shadow Paladins that like benefit so much more. Because Shadow Paladins, you get big, but you sack your own rear guards to do
Those
stuff.
things don't look like Shadow Paladins.
No, they don't. But like Great Nature, that's literally like we make the meme of it where it's like learning, dying. Like that's what Great Nature does. And
It's
then
the circle of life.
yeah, like that's honestly what Great Nature is. Like it reminds me just of like what Shadow Paladins are supposed to be, where you like sack all your stuff for advantages, and like Great Nature literally gets big and then just ends with a huge hand at the end of turn.
Yes.
So like, and then you go, well, how can I kill them?
Slow and steady.
Yeah, that's like the answer, to be honest. And then with like Isabel's getting the new G guard. So like that's the only out to D police really is literally they go swing, I guard break, and you go, all right, well G guard.
Hopefully you hit the trigger.
Yeah, no, Isabel's guaranteed.
Isabel's guaranteed, but any other deck is like, I hope I hit.
Yeah.
Me, I hope I write to command.
Yeah, that's like your only other thing that you can do with E-Rads.
Yeah. I'm thankfully know that he's going to have rear guards.
Yeah, they're going to be rested, so.
I can just use that perfect guard I was talking about.
Okay.
But yeah,
I only have to hit you once.
That's always
I'll be
Dimension
fine.
Police's MO. I only have to hit you once.
I always survive the first attack.
Or crit?
4 crit?
Yeah. If I need to, I'll pick up Angel Feather and go to 8 damage.
All right.
I mean, you can kneecap yourself like that, but sure.
Bro, I'll stay at 0. You hit me for 5,
That was
I'll go into the stride and heal too.
That was literally like what I was doing with Dungaree. Like when we were play testing, he was just like, I'm going to stay at 0. Like, you're not hitting me.
You want to hit me for 5? That's okay. I will literally go to 5. I will go into the stride. I would heal 2. And then I'll proceed to G-guard against you, counterblast 3, and heal again and go to 2 damage.
Guess what? 4 still kills.
Yeah.
It's okay. You'll be on Excalibur at that point.
I play 3 wings.
Yeah.
Unibird?
Yeah.
Is that what Wings is? Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to go into Unibird.
Oh,
like,
my God.
Unibird getting 256K.
It gives me more time to build a hand. I'll probably have 4 PGs, but then I'll use all 4.
Linkas for
PGs don't
days.
matter, my boy.
You have to dry check out of your 5 dry checks.
Yeah.
4 grade 3s.
Do you know how many grade 3s that they
2
play?
if I put 2 stand triggers into Soul.
You are right. You will most likely not.
You're literally talking about Bastion as a premium deck.
if Bastion had a lot of guard grade 3s in hand.
Yeah, like Bastion is the nerfed version like of D Police.
Yeah.
But nowhere near as fun.
So we're coming in to the hour and 20. I'm shocked that hasn't been a 3-hour stream. It really does feel like it's been 3 hours.
Well,
Well, here we are. We talked about Georgia very quickly. I mean,
I don't think it was that quick. We talked about it for the whole half.
it was a half hour.
Yeah.
About it for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It was that's still pretty quickly.
Yeah,
I know
45 minutes is pretty long.
I know that some people like spend like an hour or like an hour and a half talking about their experience.
No. You guys did it pretty quick. Now, in terms of the channel and what is going on with the dojo, deck profiles, way of the card fighter, like questions like that,
Yep.
I will quickly go through it. This is probably going to be the boring part for you guys. I do apologize. But way of the card fighter is coming back. We are going to be returning on set 5. I'm going to have a little trailer coming up. And if you are watching this stream or watching the podcast or listening to it on Spotify later, you will know that the first video for Way of the Card Fighter's return will be Majesty Lord Blaster versus Draconic Overlord DN. So you guys can catch that on Overdress when set 5 comes out. It will be 3 weeks after the set drops because we do have a lot of pre-planned things happening. We have around
We
2
have a
tournaments.
tournament. Yeah, we have Ramada. We have
Texas.
And then I do think that we have the Dex and Dice small cash tournament thing going on right after.
was that
Ramada.
actually confirmed?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we do have a lot of pre-happening events interrupting the video, probably me uploading or editing. So
We'll try
you guys
to we'll try to capture as well some like duels and all that on there.
exactly. And with deck profiles, we do have the 2 deck profiles being made right now for these 2 over here. What did they take into Georgia? What they felt comfortable with? We still have to record Anderson's as of right now.
Yep.
But we'll get it recorded. No worries.
Yep,
No worries.
We'll have it out. Are we gonna do it on both channels?
If you like.
I mean, I
Do
figured
you want
why
to do
not?
like the raw footage with your channel and then the edited footage on mine?
Sure.
Because I know you just put straight raw footage on there.
Sure.
All right. That's what we're going to
It
do.
doesn't matter. You can edit it and then we can just put it on both. Either way.
Okay. I have to double check if YouTube allows that because they do like that whole checking thing.
Yeah.
So,
I'm pretty sure that you're able to. We'll find a way.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
but other than that, we were speaking about the Ramada Festival, or sorry,
Ramada
the
Festival.
Ramada Gateway Kingslayer tournament
Yep.
for set 5 and P Clan selection because P Clan selection comes out
That weekend.
that weekend. Will be January 24th to the 20th.
January.
Sorry. Wow.
June.
June. Guys,
It's a new year.
it's a new year.
2023, baby.
2023, baby.
No. 2022. June 24th through the 26th. There's nothing happening the 24th. It's just everyone's coming in, meeting up,
Yep.
pre-planning. I like saying the community dates because that's when the community is going to be there. The 25th will be standard,
Yep.
and the 26th will be premium. There will also be a Digimon event. I need to make that poster. Got a lot of things to do. But overall, I do hope that you guys check in onto Twitch. It'll be on Kingslayer's account. We're going to be streaming the event, the rounds, what's going on. I will be commentating as well as I'll have Anderson commentating a few of the matches as well. I say as well a lot.
Doing overdress.
We also have Peter from when Peter, who commentated Bro, is also going to be coming in. That's going to be awesome. Okay. And finally, we have Matt Rivers most likely commentating unless things change. I know we kind of like talked about it,
Somewhat.
but I think he's going to come through with it.
Uh,
You guys love speaking. This is why the podcast is here. Logan, you got to win a round.
yeah, you got to win a tournament.
But other than that, big tournaments happening. More podcasts is coming through. Podcasts, the reason we're able to upload these quick is because they're raw, person to person. You're hearing us directly through. And then we're going to have our videos for deck profiles, Way of the Card Fighter, and a new secret project that is in the works. But other than that, thank you so much for coming by. Do you guys have any final words to say for today's podcast?
Not really.
No, that's it.
No. I mean, do you want to tell them about? Well, we already said that we're sister teams, but we're officially partnered.
Oh, we can put more information, yeah.
Yeah.
So we are pair partnered with Kingslayer Cards.
Yep.
Richard, owner of Kingslayer, and myself are working as pair partners for the teams. I'm partnering
Yeah, you're welcome.
with them. I'm setting up with them, playing events. I'm pretty much also putting in my part with them too. So
It was me and Richard had that long one-on-one, and me and James also had a long one-on-one about that
what?
in Georgia, about talking about us as a team,
Yes.
combining and all that. So yeah, I put in somewhat of the hard work as well.
Yeah. The man that was leading as a captain is going to be stepping down to a more polyamorous group.
No. Hey, yo. But no, yeah, like, me being the captain of Team Eclipse was fun, but, like, there shouldn't be roles. There shouldn't be roles. It should be everybody and then an owner.
Yeah. It should be everybody play testing as gears and then going in.
No.
Gears in a cog, you know, not the
playing
actual
Gears.
Gear Chronicle.
We're not playing.
I didn't
Gears.
mean play Gears.
All right, get us ASRs and then I'll play it.
Well,
Kingslayer
talk to Richard. He has 4.
No. There's 4 right
That's
there.
on you, Frankie.
What?
Get the other 4.
I don't need 8 of them.
Yeah, you do. You have
4
If
for
someone
premium.
can give me a real reason other than 4 for premium, 4 for V premium to
What
pick
other
up these
reason do you need?
ASRs, I will consider it.
Aren't you the Gear Naru Samurai?
I am Naru Samurai. I'm playing
Hashtag
Narukami by
Gears.
day, Gear Chronicle by night.
Well, guess what?
Is that your motto now?
Yes.
That can be
Actually, it's
Gear
been on
Chronicle
Twitter
by
for a long
day.
time.
Anybody who's
Chronicle by night.
listening on the to it on Spotify, you can feel the disappointment in the room.
But yep, that's pretty much what's going on. We're going to be pair partnered. I'm actually working on new designs for them right now. We will actually have a logo up for Eclipse's YouTube channel very soon, as well as a bunch of merch for ourselves.
Yeah.
Not for you guys, unless we become very
Yeah, unless you really want it. I mean, the mass
I'll just
production-
draw it onto the Naru Samurai Gaming website.
mass production conversation that
Mass
we had.
production.
No, I hope everybody likes it. I know you made the logo in short notice, but it looks pretty good.
Yeah, we still got to fix it up, clean it up, some corners and all that, and then we're ready to go in for printing for ourselves.
Yep.
But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for today's podcast. I do hope you guys enjoyed very well. Do keep a lookout for YouTube as well as Twitch, Spotify, Apple Music. You'll hear that all in the end credit. But thank you so much for coming. Peace.
Thanks for watching The Dojo. If you would like to see more card fight content like this, make sure to catch The Dojo and Naru Samurai on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Spotify, and Apple Podcast.